Congratulations. Now it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker for our induction today. Vicky Nickerbacher has served as a faculty member and a Phi Theta Kappa advisor for, well, many years, and has had such an impact on so many of our Phi Theta Kappa students here. She is retiring and will be giving you her message, but before we let her speak, I was able to get video from some of the students that Vicky has had a relationship with over the years, and so I'm playing you a short version of all the wonderful things they had to say.
Hi, Vicky. Hi, everyone.
Hey, Vicky, it's Chase, former PTK president at Inver Hills.
Hi, my name is Jenny Amata, and I served as a Phi Theta Kappa advisor with Vicky for the past 4 years.
I actually had Vicky as an instructor for my Holocaust history class for my 2-year degree when I was a student at Anoka Ramsey. Vicky was one of my favorite teachers because here's the thing, you don't forget a Holocaust history class with Vicky Nickerbacher. You just don't.
I am currently a children's mental health social worker with Dakota County Social Services, and I attribute so much of that to the leadership skills I gained through Phi Theta Kappa, as well as the education I received during my time at Inver Hills.
Vicky, thank you so much for all the time you have invested in me and all of your students. Thank you for your dedication to every student you've had the opportunity of working with and interacted with at your time at Inver Hills. You are a true gem. So thank you, Vicky. I hope retirement treats you well.
I just want to say thank you for your service. It was awesome getting to work with you, and congratulations on your retirement.
I am eternally grateful for all that you have done for me and for this campus, and I'm so excited to see what your next adventure brings.
I hope that you enjoy retirement, and congratulations, and I hope that you get to travel as much as you want.
Vicky, I would like to say to you, thanks for leading the region. And I'd also like to thank you very much for being a co-advisor with me. I really enjoyed working with you. And most of all, thanks for being a friend, Vicky.
Well, now I have to catch my breath, and I have to share with you that, it's been a journey, a wonderful journey. I'm looking forward to some new journeys, but I've met a lot of special friends, and it's so grand to see some of the former students that I've had and Phi Theta Kappa members. There are a few of them that I've traveled with to many different places. So I hope I can continue to do that. And yesterday I got a piece of good news. Iceland has opened its doors to travel. So my trip to Iceland will go. I mean, because they opened its doors to those who've been vaccinated. I was recently vaccinated, and the 4 people who are coming with me are in the process of completing their vaccination. So here I go to Iceland and maybe to Peru. And I have a few trips up my sleeve that I'd love to talk with you sometime more about. But you know what? I got a job here, and Nikki and I have worked on putting a presentation together for you. So I'll begin that. I find PowerPoint presentations a little awkward, so I hope you'll have some patience with me. But I really appreciate the opportunity to say goodbye. Goodbyes are very difficult for me. I used to be a social worker, and I always found them difficult and emotional. But at the same time, goodbye means that new opportunities await us. So, and I also have the privilege to welcome the new inductees. So I will be retiring in August, and by that time I have been a community college teacher for 29 or 30 years, and about 1/3 of them I've been a Phi Theta Kappa advisor. Nikki, Ricky, and Vicky used to be the team, and then Nikki, Vicky, and Jenny used to be the team. So now we got Nikki and Jenny and Tanya. So we've kind of changed the pattern a little bit, but I have great confidence that I'm leaving you in good hands. So, I just wanted to share a little bit in this presentation about why I've made such a personal commitment and what I have liked best over the years about Phi Theta Kappa. So, Nikki, if you go to slide 2, that'd be awesome. So, you know, when I think about what Phi Theta Kappa has, its focus is on the good, and it has a lot of transformative focus. So let me tell you a little bit about that. So Nikki, you can go on to slide 3. Okay, and just to kind of summarize some of the things that I've witnessed, and I think that emphasize the goodness of Phi Theta Kappa, you know, I would kind of sum it up in these few statements. I have witnessed how PTK membership has greatly improved the life chances of many community college students. I mean, this Phi Theta Kappa is exclusively for community college students. And technical college students. So its focus is primarily on a 2-year community college audience. And one of the things that Phi Theta Kappa membership does is bolster the abilities of students to further their education or to maximize their employment readiness. It has given many community college students, both at Inver Hills and Dakota Technical College, a heads up or second chance. Many of our students have life transitions, and they have not come to college right away. Maybe they deferred their education. Maybe they had, you know, a hiatus. Maybe they had a child. Maybe they had a life change in employment. So, and also we have had over the years many students who have been PTK, not PTK students, PSEO students, just like Anne and her sister. They have come to us at Inver as PSEO students and had done very well. So I don't have time to, you know, give you the stories of them all, but 2 of them that in more recent years I just wanted to highlight are featured on the slides that follow. So Nikki, if you'd move on to the next slide, that'd be awesome. This student is Amanda Turner, and Amanda Turner came to Inver as a single parent, and she came to Inver as a single parent in her 30s. Okay, and while she was at Inver, she completed her AA degree, and most recently, I mean, she wrote to us on our Facebook and shared that she had gotten her bachelor's degree in social work, which was a life ambition. So, and she was a member of the 2018 All Minnesota academic team. And so given, and she won numerous scholarships at the college, some of those PTK oriented and some of them from other sources. But she did really well here. She more recently got her degree, and it really has elevated her life chances. And one of the things she also posted on Facebook recently is that she got a promotion. So, I mean, life is better for her, okay? Now, the second student I want to highlight was also a member of that 2018 All Minnesota academic team, and her name is Summer Meyer, okay? This is in my 13 years as being a Phi Theta Kappa advisor at Inver. Summer is the only student I have ever had that won a New Century Transfer Scholarship, and that gave her $22,250 extra dollars to go on. And she too, more recently, completed her college degree. It's in environmental science, and it was at the University of Rochester, New York. So, you know, Phi Theta Kappa membership really catapulted her ability to do good things. So I have a few other words about Phi Theta Kappa membership that I wanted to share with you that emphasize its goodness. As mentioned earlier, Anne mentioned that the hallmarks of Phi Theta Kappa membership are scholarship, service, leadership, and fellowship. And you know, these are 5 key points about your membership in Phi Theta Kappa. It's going to help you celebrate your academic success. One of the things I love to attend are the induction ceremonies and our graduation ceremonies, because those are 2 opportunities at Inver that recognize and celebrate students' academic successes. Also, Phi Theta Kappa membership enhances your ability to access scholarship dollars. There are every fall and every spring there are PTK scholarship opportunities that your advisors will tell you about. Please follow their advice, work with them, try to write the best scholarship applications possible. I'm thinking about another student in my, not my student, another person I know that was a member of Phi Theta Kappa from Minnesota. She attended Lake Superior College, and Deanna has never paid $1 of tuition because she's won enough scholarships in Phi Theta Kappa to pay for it all. And most recently, she completed her master's degree at the University of Arizona with PTK scholarship dollars. So she likes to brag about the fact that she has never invested one of her own dollars in her own education. She's got 6 years of education totally paid by PTK dollars. Okay, and that doesn't happen that often, but it would be nice to know that those opportunities exist. Okay, PTK also provides leadership opportunities both at the local and regional level. And locally, you could serve your chapter by being one of its officers, and there's lots of officer positions that you can take on if you choose. And regionally, there are also some opportunities for you to be regional officers, and this was not possible when I was the regional coordinator, but it is now possible. The students who serve as regional coordinators actually get to go visit Phi Theta Kappa headquarters, which is located in Jackson, Florida. So there's like a special incentive for you to be on the regional team that didn't exist before. Right now it's done, I think, primarily by, in the last year and a half by Zoom, but that would be really cool for you who have never visited Florida to Jackson, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, to go to Jackson, Mississippi to PTK headquarters to see what it actually looks like. Okay, and also PTK membership fosters your abilities to work with others because there are some chapter projects and honors and action projects you have the opportunity to partake. And the last thing I think is important is that PTK has some online tools that will help you determine which four-year college best fits your needs if that's one of your future goals. Nikki, you can move on to the next slide. Okay, and in closing, I'm a teacher, so I always like to extend a little bit of advice, and actually this slide, it should say 4 important mantras to live by. So you can see once in a while teachers mess up and they forget how to count, I guess, but needless to say, there are 4 of them. And one of them is to focus on the positive. The second one is to be open-minded. The third one is to persist. And the fourth one is to be an everyday hero. So let me tell you just a little bit more about these mantras before I conclude. Could you advance the slide to the next one? Okay, so just very quickly, focus on the positive, acknowledge your progress, focus on what you did right rather than what you did wrong. It is so easy to dwell on the mistakes and to beat yourself up when you do something that you didn't expect or you did it in a way that wasn't so successful, but turn those moments of, when you make an error, pause for a moment and turn that error into a learning opportunity. So focus on what you did right and not what you did wrong. Next. And be open-minded. There is a man who is pretty well known in social justice circles. His name is Bryan Stevenson. If you've seen the film Mercy, he is the one who's worked very intensely with a number of prisoners or inmates, people who were sent to prison erroneously. And he has a little quote, an inspirational quote I think we should remember occasionally. Each of us is more than the worst thing we've ever done. So even if we've done something to harm another, or if we've done something that we might have insulted somebody, maybe we didn't act as someone expected, I think everyone deserves a second chance. It's just something that I live by, and I hope that you can do the same. I saw Give Me a Second Chance on hanging in a plaque in one of the local elementary schools lately. And I thought that was just so neat that the little kids are learning that at a very early age. So if they can learn that younger in their lives, we can learn it later in our lives as well. And to kind of further emphasize being open-minded, I want to share you, keep going. That's the slide, go one more slide. We want to have the slide, yeah. I just want to tell you a story, I want to tell you a story about Maria and Gilbert. And Nikki, for some reason that slide didn't hold. Yeah, okay. Maria and Philbert are two people that I recently met on two of my trips to Rwanda. Before the COVID came, I was in Rwanda with Carl Wilkins and a number of educators, and we had the chance to meet Maria and Philbert. And I have a citation here. We're not going to go to it, but I just want you to tell, as you look at these two people, it would seem impossible, almost impossible, that Maria is sitting next to a man that killed her family members during the Rwandan Genocide. The Rwandan Genocide occurred during the months of June, July, and April, May, and June of 1994. And during that genocide, Philbert, who is sitting to Marie's left, was involved in a gang that actually killed Maria's husband and children. And in Rwanda, after the genocide that lasted 90 days and killed 800,000 people, the Rwandan government had to do something to promote reconciliation. And they've worked really hard, and one of the processes that they have used to promote reconciliation is called the Gagacha Courts. And in the Gagacha Courts, local people come together to determine the justice on what should happen to some of the perpetrators. Philbert was put in jail for murdering several people during the genocide. And he appealed to the Gagacha Court. He said that if I confess my crimes, would somebody give me mercy? And it just happened that Maria was in that audience, and she said, after hearing him confess to the murder of her family members, that he could come to live back in the community, but part of his reconciliation efforts or restorative justice efforts would be that he would take care of her crops and her land and would serve in the place of the family members he killed. And for 17 or 18 years, that's what Philbert did. And during that time frame, Maria developed a friendship with Philbert. And she told him more recently that she had forgiven him because he came to her during those 17 years faithfully, and that she saw a significant change in his attitude. He came not because he had to, but because he loved doing what he did to help restore the pain that he had caused. And so Marie said, I forgive you. And more recently, when she had a daughter get married, he served as the MC for her daughter's wedding. And the community paused. They said, Maria, are you crazy? What are you doing? How could you have a killer come to your daughter's wedding? And she reframed that, and she said, Philbert might have murdered or killed my husband and my children, but he is now my friend. We need to give Philbert a second chance. So today they're friends. They live in the same community, and they speak publicly about reconciliation and forgiveness. You can watch the story. I can't even think. National Geographic has a series. It's called The Story of Us. It's narrated by Morgan Freeman. And the season #1, episode #2, there is a 1-hour segment that is called Fight for Peace. If you ever get a chance, I would encourage you to listen to their story because it offers us a lot of food for thought. When we think about how is it possible to help people move in their lives, move forward. And even today we struggle because we've got a lot of young men in jail and they were in prison for drug offenses and got lengthy prison time. And, how do we help them move back into the community? And Inver and Dakota Technical College are on the cutting edge of helping people make positive transitions from prisons back into our local communities. So if you're looking for a project, there's a project. Move on, Nikki, to the next one. I also would like to encourage you to think about persistence, okay? And I want to just watch a little segment. This is a little animated video. It's 6 minutes, 7 minutes in length. We're not going to watch it all. But Nikki, can you cue it in into the one that talks about Oprah?
Oprah Winfrey. One of my favorite success stories is Oprah Winfrey's. She was born to a single teenage mother and lived her first years with her grandmother at such poverty she had to wear potato sacks as dresses. When Oprah was 6 years old, her grandmother became ill, so she moved to live with her mother. At age 9, she was raped by her 19-year-old cousin. At age 14, she moved to live with her father at Nashville, Tennessee, and there her life turned around. She became interested in media, and when she was 19, she pursued a career in television. She was the first black female news anchor before the age of 20. Despite that, she was sexually harassed at work, and a few months later, she was fired because the producer said she was unfit for television news. She started hosting the morning talk show AM Chicago and turned it to the highest-rated talk show in Chicago. It was later renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show. Her career soared, and she is now one of the 400 richest people in America, inspiring millions of people and constantly helping the community. Create the highest, grandest vision possible of your life, because you become what you believe.
So I hope that some of us can live by that motto. And then the last thing I wanted to, we can't all be extraordinary heroes, but I do believe that we can be everyday heroes. So, sometimes that process begins very small, and it begins by making somebody else feel special. So my last words is make someone else you meet or know smile. One smile is contagious. Usually one smile promotes another. Move out of your comfort zone, and rather than focusing on yourself, try to move into the world of promoting social centrism, which means you try to help someone else. Okay, you will have a lot of opportunity at Inver, and I have greatly appreciated having this opportunity to help others, and particularly honor students who vest a lot of their time and energy and going the extra mile to learn. So I want to wish you all good luck. Thank you.